Hey guys, welcome back to Saints and Sacrifices. A bit of a different one today. I was looking at my last video, and that's just a rabbit hole that I haven't had time to look into at the moment. I'm going to do it on my next few days off work when they come round. Anyway, but today is a very important story of a French guy called Charles Martel. Now, Charles wasn't a king, wasn't a prince. He's certainly not a saint, but he is a hero of Christendom. Completely unknown, well, virtually unknown. I found him, so he's not that unknown, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I don't think he was even holy, to be fair. Anyway, so he was a Frenchman. So and this goes back to the 700s AD. So the other tribe had moved their way across Spain, and they were heading into France. Now, France at the time was all at war with each other. Different parties, different warlords, different communities, sort of like all battling. It was just chaos. Like most of Europe at them times, saying them times, it's like that now. Well, we'll get onto that in a minute. So Charles Martel realised what was going on and what had happened to Spain, and what was very, very soon to end up in France, and how they were going to be assimilated by the other tribe. And he thought, don't think so, matey. So anyway, he looked to the government, looked to the police, looked to the army, looked to the church. No one wanted to help him. So Charles thought, like, okay, I'll have to do it myself. Just an ordinary guy. He was known as the hammer of Europe. And this is what can happen to, like, just nobodies, just your average Joe in the street. He ended up like having a great dynasty, and his grandson was Charlemagne. Huge person in history. We might get onto Charlemagne in a later date, but anyway, Charles got these guys together, and basically they were just sort of like a band of infantrymen, but these guys were tough as nails. Which runs in with hammer, yeah, you know what I mean. Tough as nails, and they realised, the same as Charles, what was going to happen to their country, their lands, their families to come through generations, and thought, we need to make a stand. The government won't do anything. Nobody wants to know. We will have to make a stand ourselves. So in 728 or 732, him and his men went down to the towns of Tours and Poitiers. I think I might be right on them. And there they met the hordes, thousands of the other tribe, and they've been marching forward for like weeks, town by town, absolutely desecrating everything they came across. And anyway, so Charles and his men drew a line and said, right, okay, let's do some battle. So even though heavily outnumbered, some say up to like 6-1, 7-1, they stood their ground, and the battle lasted for hours and hours. There was bloodshed everywhere, and yet these French or Frankish, we're called French or Frankish, like history, So these Frankish guys wouldn't step back, just stayed there, just wouldn't give an inch, and just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Anyway, nightfall comes and they all settle down for a bit, as battles seem to do in them times. They didn't seem to fight at night times unless you were Vlad Dracula, who I'm doing in a couple of weeks' time. Go on about that. So nighttime fell, and then in the morning it comes up that they wake up, there's no hordes, they've gone. They've sort of like thought, whoa, we ain't getting anywhere here, guys, we go back, and they moved all the way back into Spain. So the land of the Franks, France, was saved by a group of ordinary people, ordinary blokes, who decided, like, we prefer this way of life, not your way of life. So, and it's very like, I shouldn't get political, but I'm going to get political. It's very much like in today's world. So I was looking about online, and guys, I don't do a lot of research, yeah, as you probably know if you've seen my other videos. This is just sort of like a tidbit of like a bit, so you can sort of think, wow, like that guy sounds interesting. Not me, the people I'm doing, obviously, I'm not interesting. So you can go in and sort of say, Google it or AI it and like look into it, read their books and stuff like that. But anyway, so I was on Facebook, and I was looking up these like battles, and like modern historians are sort of saying, it was just a battle. You know, that's all it was. It was no way was this just a battle, guys. This stopped the other tribe from moving northward into the rest of Europe. It stopped it dead. So what these historians are talking about, I do not know. Maybe they know more than me. Hey, who am I to know? So anyway, I was on Facebook, and this post came up from a guy called Thomas More. Now, I don't know Thomas or Tommy or whatever, but in a way, he's just an ordinary bloke, an ordinary Englishman who's had enough. A bit like Tommy Robinson, I suppose. So, like, Thomas More. So what does he do, guys? I'll tell you what, I don't know exactly what he does, but I'm just going to give you an outline. Please go and look him up on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. He's doing something called Operation Overlord, which was the name of a operation during World War II in France on the beaches. So anyway, this is where Thomas is at the moment. He's just a normal working bloke, English working bloke. Him and a few mates have gone to the beaches of France and the coastal towns of northern France. And what they do, I believe this, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but what they're doing is they're trying to find the boats. And if they find a boat, they slash them and then slash all the life jackets. So stopping the boats coming over. Because I know every politician is saying, we can stop the boats, we can smash the gangs and stuff like that. Talking's no good, guys. Talking is no good. We need action. Our politicians ain't going to do no action. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what political party you're in. We have not got 2 to 3 years for another election. And then when we get another election, are we going to get, like this lot that came in, what, a year ago? They said they were going to smash the boats. There's more and more coming in every day than before they were in power. So we wait 2 to 3 years for another election, a new party come in, promise this, promise that, deliver nothing. We haven't got time for that, guys. And it's people like Charles Martel, who was in a very similar situation. His government didn't want to know. The elites tend not to want to know about these sort of things. So, Thomas More, like I say, I haven't looked into it whatsoever. I just saw him about an hour before I did this video on Facebook, on when I was going through Facebook, and I have no idea whether he's got a GoFundMe page, a Patreon set up, or buy me a coffee thing. And I think he's even looking for other guys of similar age that want to join the movement, so they can be there basically doing shifts 24 hours a day, making sure that they stop the boats. So by the time we get another government in, all they've got to do is the paperwork. That the other side of it, hundreds of thousands of people coming in, has been stopped. So all they've got to do is the paperwork and do it. So anyway, like I said, I don't know if he's got a Patreon, GoFundMe or stuff like that, but go and give this guy money. You can see on his videos that he's over there doing what Charles Martel did in France, saving Christendom. Now, Thomas might not even be a holy guy, he might not be religious, but as you can see, I'm quite religious, as you know, but he might not be religious, but he's a hero of Christendom, because he's stopping the assimilation of this great country of ours into the other tribe. We will stay Christian until the end of days. So go to his page, see if there's any like GoFundMe, put a £5 in, put 20 quid. Guys, put 100 quid in. This is your grandchildren's life that these guys are doing, because your government, your police force, your armies and the church won't do anything about. It's guys like Thomas More who are following the footsteps of heroes of Christendom like Charles Martel from France that are actually putting action. No more words, guys. No more words. We need action. Now, I know what you're thinking. Am I pushing for these people to commit criminal acts? No, I'm not. I saw something came up on, I think it's probably Facebook or my Google feed, a good few weeks ago now, where they had news crews. I think it may have even been Sky News. I think it was Sky News. I don't know. I don't watch mainstream news, so I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it was Sky News. And they were filming the French police slashing the boats and slashing the life jackets so they cannot be used. Now, a lot of people sort of thought this is just a publicity stunt. Strange how Sky News happened to be there that day. I don't know. But so if Thomas More and his comrades or countrymen or patriots, I'm not too sure you can say the word patriots anymore. You're not allowed to be a patriot, but anyway, I'm only a small channel. No one ever watches this channel. So they could, I would imagine they could legitimately get away with that, because them boats are being used for illegal purposes. Don't know. As you can tell, I'm not a lawyer. Maybe I'll get on to the Black Belt Barrister and ask him. Another good channel to follow, the Black Belt Barrister. Yeah, so that's it, guys. What do you think? I'm probably wrong on a lot of many points, but like I say, this is just like a quick flash, a quick highlight of something that's going on in today's world, or any time through Christendom that we need to know about. I'm still looking into that one that I did the video the other day. What was it? King Lucius. I did a bit more research into it. Seems to be about 300 years missing from English Christianity or British Christianity history. Not too sure why yet, but like I say, when I get some more time off work, I'll look into it and put it up here. So guys, raise a glass to a Frenchman. Never thought I'd say that. He says, wearing a Dutch shirt. It's a Dutch shirt because it's got Cruyff on the back. One of my favourite footballers. raise a glass to Charles Martel and his band of brothers who stood firm, vastly outnumbered, and as usual, the enemy disappear during the night when no one's looking, because they can't stand anyone to stand up against these people. And then also please check out Thomas More. There's probably loads more guys out there doing this, but Thomas More is the only guy that I've come across so far. And to be honest, that just came up by accident. So go and check out Thomas More. If they've got a GoFundMe page, add to it. If you can spare a spare weekend, if that's what they're doing, guys, go and check it out, because I have not got enough knowledge to know what these guys are doing, but I know that they're doing a good thing. So guys, thank you so much for coming to Saints and Sacrifices. So yeah, saints, martyrs and heroes like Charles Martel. Guys, if you hit subscribe, please. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And as always, keep the faith. Grow the faith. See you guys.